Hello, dear friends. Here we are, redefining money, 21 days of inner journey in inner empowerment, right? And we are working on this beautiful book, Money, through the spirit author Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier. And today is another day for us. Another day of joy, and it's chapter 5, in the temple of goodness and self-discovery. When Allan Kardec asked the spirits, and it's publishing the Spirits book, the question about what can we do to avoid incurring mistakes, and what can we do to expedite our progress, they answered, know yourself. As I get to know myself, I will avoid mistakes, and I will also progress much more steadily and delay the progress much less. So these books were brought to us for redefining our millennial concepts, especially about money. Money is such a concept in our lives. Many people feel either is enslaved, superior, or inferior if they have it or don't have it. Where are we in that regard? With the chapters we have studied, 4 chapters this far, where do you think you are regarding money? Do you feel it's changing the way you feel about it? You look at it? Do you feel it? Yes, we're live here at also Kardec Radio. If you go to the website kardecradio.com, we are there live, actually 24/7. Yes, you bet. And we are here with the opportunity to stream to you what is happening on spot. And you're right, Lea Severo, we're back home sweet home. We loved being with our spiritist friends and family in Orlando. But now we're back. Thank God Virginia is back and better as well. You know, it's just the challenges of life on the earth, right? And thank you for the prayers and the loving hearts. Thank you, Rihanna. Thank you, friends. Let me say hi to each and every one. Hello, dear Jussara and Angelita, Lea Severo, Melissa, Rihanna, Andrea, hello Andrea, and Cesa, friends, it's so good to be together, right? Rita Di Cassia, it's so good, Katia and Adilson, friends, in this intercontinental. Here we have friends from South Africa, friends like Rihanna, her family. We have friends from the United States. We have friends from Brazil. We have friends from Puerto Rico. We have friends from Europe. We have friends from Australia. All these continents in this online spiritist center. For now, it's a center for us. Why not? What a joy, right? Hello, Patricia and João Bosco. In the temple of goodness. Let us see what Emmanuel is going to teach us tonight. Thank you, Kara and Mark. They are also with us. Thank you, friends, for the feedback and for being together in this beautiful journey. What a special reincarnation, huh? We're finally awake. We're not sleeping. We're not running away from our own things, what we need to encounter. Enough of escape mechanisms, enough of illusions. We're waking up each and every step. And Emmanuel invites us tonight to get into this temple of goodness. What is it? In the temple of goodness. These spirits, they don't use words just to be beautiful, just to impact on us. They are educators. And educators, when they choose some expressions and words, they use it for a very important reason: to educate us, to bring from inside of us out the divine seed. So let us now enter this temple of goodness. Commendable are the charitable attitudes of spending considerable sums towards the needy. But if you personally seek unhappy brothers or sisters, offering them an embrace of solidarity and good cheer, then pure goodness will shine in your heart. By contributing a significant portion of money towards the welfare of the sick, thou shalt be the subject of joy and recognition from many beneficiaries on earth. However, if besides this you offer the effort to assist the sick and the destitute with your own hands, you can count on the tenderness and the acknowledgement of many other entities of the greater world. You'll be esteemed by people for donating leftovers from your home to help the hungry and the naked. However, if you renounce somewhat the satisfaction of your own desires and seek misfortunate children to comfort, then you'll be praised beyond this world. Teach them the good, so you can climb the stage of popularity by the easy verbiage that shines in your mouth, and for this reason you'll be the favorite of the crowds for a while. But if you practice the virtues that you teach, sacrificing yourself with sincerity and devotion for the aid of those around you, the earthly path will be illuminated and you live in long lines of grateful hearts. Let us seek the good by spreading it, by exalting it, and by highlighting it through all opportunities afforded to us. However, let us make an effort to honor it with our integration of its fundamentals and appeals. The charity that is taught improves one's years. Practicing charity enhances one's heart. Conscientiously dividing the assets that we retain is to uphold human dignity. Renounce for the benefit of others, and this will always elevate you. Spread the values within his own soul. Spreading the values within his own soul, Jesus bequeathed to the world the treasures of understanding and peace. In addition to spreading the possibilities of how divine providence has blessed our lives, let us offer to help others some of the time with our sweat, with our love, and with our arms. So we mobilize ourselves and we will transform our existence into a poem of light and love that can add the love and light upon which Christ has been building the kingdom of God among humanity. Are you feeling the temple of goodness already? Are you? Yeah, that's a certain invitation. At first, when we read these sentences, they seem all the same. They seem the same old stories we've come to know. But what are the differential aspects of it all? What is the actual recommendation that is renewed in this chapter, different from previous chapters? Emmanuel is not repeating the same old story in each and every chapter. He's adding something new. Talking about money, he is giving us a beautiful opportunity to go one step ahead, empowering each and every person, not only those who have the money, but also those who do not have the money. Hello, Sol, and Danny, and Erika too, right? Friends, he's telling us first about charitable attitude, about sharing the material things that we have. First and foremost, we need to ask this question, because it's a therapeutic conversation. We need to feel the scriptures to actually achieve this kingdom of God. The first therapeutic question we have for today is, how much time do I spend reaching out to others? Let's do the math. Let's take a pen. I'm taking Hello Kitty's pencil, okay? Just in case, just to be inspired. Let us take a piece of paper, okay? And in this paper, let us write down, in a day of 24 hours, how many hours during each and every day do we dedicate to reach out to others? By giving food, by giving clothes, by giving them directions, etc. How much? Our professional work doesn't count, because it's rewarded by the salary in itself. Our studies don't count, because at the end of the day we're gonna have a diploma. So besides all of it, how many hours a day do we spend doing actual charitable work? And charitable in the beneficent way of saying, the material aspect, okay? How many hours? Can you break it down? How many hours? Okay, think about this. Because Emmanuel is now gonna tell you something that goes beyond it. Okay? So, keep that in mind, the hours. Now, add to the plate of the math of the heart. Let's say this. Forgive me. It's the math of the heart. The mathematics of the heart. If you personally seek unhappy brothers and sisters to offer them solidarity, encouragement, then pure goodness will shine in your heart. The reward is already in itself. So besides giving material things, how many hours do you think you spend a day encouraging people? Making sure you are with them in the most difficult times or in the joyful times too. Then he says, and this is in the temple of goodness, he says, if you get a part of your money and you give to the sick, people are gonna say you're great. But if you, with your own hands, go and help those who are sick, tenderly caring for them, you know what's gonna happen? He gives us the effect of it all. He says that good spirits, many other entities of the greater world will be with you. And you know, friends, a rule of thumb in this dynamics of life is this. Wherever there is a good spirit, the light of it displaces the other one, either by helping it or really because the inferior spirits don't want to be on the same place, because the interests, their objectives are different. So if I want to be in the company of good spirits, what do I need to do? Help others. If I want light, I need to shine my light. Does it call for a song? We haven't been singing, right? But why not now? Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And if I let it shine, they will be with me. The good spirits, they're gonna be with us. They will be, they will be, they will be, and they are, right? So if we are with people helping out, and you see how he uses it, he is saying, seek those who are in need. Don't wait for them to come to you. Observe. In our brains, neuroscience already shows we have areas here in the temporal region that are activated when we feel altruistic. When we are altruistic, we are already thinking of others' needs instead of our own. And the more I do this exercise, the more I activate this area. It's like you become an expert in altruism. Oh, well, the personal trainer in altruism is Jesus. You know, God, knowing that we need to be coached to progress, it's written in the Spirit's book. Question 621 of the Spirit's book. The laws of God are in my conscience. And then Kardec continues asking, but why don't we remember? Well, either you forgot or you disregarded it. So what do? Well, God sends you masters and prophets, people to remind you. And what is the most perfect guiding model that has ever come to the earth? Jesus. So God gave you and I the kindest and the most experienced personal trainer ever, Jesus. Do you accept his coaching program? Because if you and I accept it, we'll be in his gym every day. And the planet Earth is his gym. Yes, his gymnasium, where we're running after other people, helping them out. That's the running of the heart. Okay? And then we'll be helping people, helping one another. What about us? Don't worry. He is taking care of us. Don't worry. I mean, you take care of yourself. I take care of myself. But not before others. Especially when there are other people who need more than we do. Right? So let me see. Hi here. Hello, Louise. God bless you too. Right, Erica. Let's be good company and attract good companies. Love it. You're right. That's the way to go. And this is the law of life. It's like gravity. If I do the good, I attract the good. But that doesn't mean we're not going to go through challenging times. Because let's not forget, we're on the earth. On the earth, we're supposed to be challenged. We're supposed to gain new muscle. And as Emmanuel said in the book Thought in Life, to evolve, we need to acquire new habits. New habits of what? Thinking, feeling. To create new habits of saying, speaking, and doing. How do we create new habits? By studying, by being loving, but oftentimes by facing challenges. And then we're going to learn how to be patient, how to be tolerant, how to be persistent, how to be determined. But let's make this therapeutic moment ever more meaningful for each one of us. Okay? considering that we are in this big gymnasium of the soul. The planet Earth is this big gymnasium where we're learning new habits. And the personal trainer of all times, our dear Master Jesus, is teaching us new things, new habits. Knowing yourself this far, what is at least the top achievement for you that you think Jesus is devotedly coaching you on? What is it? You don't need to tell us, but let us meditate together. I'm also thinking for myself, because Mentor Joseph always surprises us with these questions. Yeah. How are we gonna get there? How? Very important. The answer is in the book Thought and Life. If we want to get rid of the old conditionings, the shackles of the past, we must, it's like a mantra, we must seek the good, feel the good, visualize the good, and mold our lives to the good, right? All the time. You know, when you are looking around at your life and something unexpected happens and you tend to believe that it's the worst thing that could happen. And it's the invitation from Jesus to say, I'm coaching you. Remember, you must right now work the abdomen of the soul. How? Laugh a little bit. Because it really works the muscles of the abdomen. Laugh a little bit, and the muscles of the thorax. But the muscles of the soul, look around, say, you know, life is so funny. Of all things that could happen now, believe me, you know. And I felt so silly today. We got back from the trip and we had to go to the Spiritist Center. We only had like an hour and a half. And Carlos and I couldn't find where we parked our car in the airport parking lot. It took us an hour. And you know, at first you're like, you want to blame the partner. You want to think, man, the obsessors. And then in prayers, you know, I just heard Mentor Joseph smiling. And I said, really? You're going to smile now? And then he said, Vanessa, what are these teachings for if not for this moment? It's just funny. Think, it could be a comedy. It's a comedy. You guys park your car and you don't remember where you parked. It's just laugh with it a little bit. Why not? And then, you know, I relaxed and I said, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. And then we kept ourselves like aligned and everything else just unfolded. After an hour, we found the car. And I said, you know, why turning on a comedy when your life has elements of a comedy, right? It's our lives. So learning to laugh with our mistakes, with our, you know, it's a funny side inside of us. It's a new training for us. But Jesus is here with us to train us in that regard. How about that opportunity? Yeah? Right, Andrea? Mamma mia. Sometimes I think we didn't crawl enough because Luciana, you did too. Oh man. You know, it's so funny because they say, the pediatricians, that it's important to allow babies to crawl as much as possible because that enhances the spatial abilities. But I think we didn't crawl enough because the spatial abilities are not that wonderful. Right? So Yes, this is a very funny thing. But Emilio continues. If you donate leftovers to the hungry, people are gonna say you're great. But if you renounce the satisfaction of your own desire and seek misfortune children to comfort, then you'll be praised beyond this world. Look, the fraternity without borders. People go all the way to Africa, and today I've got to know that they expanded the program to Madagascar. It's unbelievable. Some people ask me, but Vanessa, how do I know if it's right to cut short the expiation of others? And the spirits in the Spirit's book and in the gospel, they say, it's not up to us to know when the expiation of somebody comes to an end. But it is on us, always, without exception, to be of relief. So you and I are always being called to relieve the pains of others. But it's not on us to judge how that person is suffering. If I bet that person did something wrong. Who knows? If you read in the Heaven and Hell book, you'll be surprised to find out that there are homeless who actually are missionary spirits. You go read the Gospel according to Spiritism, the Heaven and Hell book, or listen to the cases of the second part in Kardec Radio, KardecRadio.com. We have the whole audio book, the second part of it there. Beautiful cases, right? And I know Angelita from New York, the Yes Group, she was able to be there in person, and she can tell us the beauty of this, renouncing your desires to travel somewhere for your pleasure, to actually have this unspoken reward of learning with people that have less and laugh and smile much more than we do. FraternityWithoutBorders.org. Valentine's Day is coming, and that's really something that is worthwhile reaching out. Okay? Now, this is also a good one. Teach people the good. But if we practice, if we walk the talk, sacrificing ourselves with sincerity and devotion for the aid of those around, the earthly path will be illuminated, and you live in long lines of grateful hearts. Friends, some people nowadays, they're afraid of saying, I'm a spiritist. Why? You're not going to preach if you just share what you know. You preach when people don't ask you, but if they ask you, what do you do every Sunday or every Saturday? Well, I go to a Spiritist Center. Spiritist Center? Yeah, Spiritist Center. What is it? Well, and then you prepare what you want to say. But the time has come, friends. And if they say, you know, you're in a conversation and people are talking about something, you know, reincarnation can be an answer. You say, you know, I've been studying a few books that would probably point to the direction of this is a case of reincarnation. And they could look at you like, really? Yeah. Go read the books by Dr. Ian Stevenson, Jim Tucker from the University of Virginia, and you're going to get to know more information. Science already proves that it exists. They just don't know how. But it proves that it must exist. Otherwise, there is no other explanation for the thousands of cases they've been studying. Let us seek the good by spreading it, exalting it, But now he says something that is unbelievable. He's saying, seek the good by spreading, exalting it, highlighting it, like we're doing on Facebook. We see something good, we share, 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 share. But he's saying, let us honor it by being coherent. Pause. Pause. Where are we in regards to coherence? Where do you think you are? Where do you think I am? In regards to coherence, being coherent means what he said. Integrate words and actions, thoughts and feelings. Where are we? Scale 0 to 10. 0 being not coherent at all. 10, super coherent. Where do you think you are? It's very important that we double check often. Am I being coherent? Where do I need to tune up? Where do I need to tune up? What part of my life do I need to honor the good by being coherent? And why do I honor the good? Because God is good. And you know, there's a child's song that is very public. And it says pretty much like this. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me. God is so good to me. God is so good to me. God is so good. He's so good to me. And then I honor God by honoring the good. Because everything that is good comes from God. So when we are being coherent, we're honoring, we're praising, we're worshiping God. Sometimes people go to the Spirit's book, a book that is being celebrated this year by its 160 years of publication. And there is a third part, 10 laws. The laws that really define how we function, what we're gravitating towards, how we need to be compliant. And there's one law that is probably the least understood, law of worship. Especially us spiritists, we listen to worship and it seems to be like, does it mean like praying? What does it mean to worship? But to worship, to praise God, is to have that feeling that God is the greatest. Feeling is to have that constant feeling that God is the ultimate reference, that God is the ultimate love, that when everything goes wrong in our life, I surrender to God because God knows. Because you know better than I, right? Because God knows better than I. Like Stephen in Poland, Stephen, my friends. When we studied that book, 21 days, we observed not only the strength of Paul, but the surrender of Stephen and Abigail to God. To the point that they would be going through the worst in life. They never thought they were being punished by God. Remember when Stephen's dad was being punished? Stephen, never thought God was punishing his dad or them. Their lands were confiscated. Stephen never believed that God was punishing him. His honoring of God and the good was so deep that he never doubted. He never doubted that he is a child of God and that he was incarnated to do the good and face the difficulties with honor, honoring God. That is the true sense of worshiping God. Is when you and I go through the worst times and we can raise our eyes to God and say, I know, Lord, I know that you'll never abandon me. You're never gonna forsake me. And I know that you want me to practice the good right now by being loyal to you, by being faithful to you, by knowing I don't know what's gonna happen next, but you know. And I know you're not using this to punish me because you don't punish me. As Stephen said in the scriptures, God is a good educator. He educates. He corrects the children, but does not punish. Right? Yes. Adilson, thank you. Fraternity Without Borders. And the series, it's all in the YouTube of Kardec Radio. For those who need a reference, the study of the series we've been doing. Everything is there. So Emmanuel is reminding us, seek the good. We're in the temple of the good. Seek it, spread it, exalt it, highlight it. Now, since we're using Facebook, if you could do a percentage, how much of the news you share and the news you post and the news you like are exalting, highlighting the good? How much of it? 50%, 80%, 100%, 0, 10, 20%? Where do you think you are? Because when he's saying, seek the good in your news feed of the Facebook, don't be impacted by the bad news. Just erase it out and say, thank you, but no thank you. And seek the good. Oh no, this is no good. Skip to the next. Spread it, share, exalt it, share with a comment, highlight it, share with your own elements, and honor it by being coherent. But if I'm using my social media to the negative, I'm entering the destructive currents that exist. Remember, let us remember, in life there are only two currents: the constructive currents of thoughts and the destructive ones. Constructive, destructive. If I share good news, I am entering this constructive current of thoughts and feelings, vibrations. If I share bad news, we're entering the destructive ones. And that's not seeking the good. If I want to get rid of the shackles of the past, the shackles, the imprisonment of the past, the effects of the actions we've had in the past, we must seek the good. Feel the good, visualize the good, and mold our lives to the good. Saul kindly sharing a message by Joana de Angelis from Child of God. God knows everything. Just let yourself be guided by Him. Seek attunement to His mercy and wisdom. Do the best you can and leave a trace of light along the road you travel. These spirits, they are friends. They are in the same schools in the spiritual realm. They are in the same workspaces, because you turn the pages of these books and you find the same thought. It's the Spiritist science. Very coherent. In the stellar works, we're gonna find the commonalities, the homogeneity of ideas. They don't contradict each other. Thank you, soul. Thank you for your contribution. Look, he says, wrapping up this chapter, in this temple of the good, when I teach about charity, I improve somebody's ways of listening. But when I practice charity, I will what? Enhance my heart. And practice charity. What is charity? Is to be good towards everyone. Benevolent. Let me ask you a tricky question. Tricky one. Would you, two people are coming to visit you in your home, okay? It's a test, since we are in this school of life. Two people are going to visit you in your home. One is the Dalai Lama, and the other one is a friend of yours. Are you going to prepare your home more differently for each of these people? Because I know people who would pretty much even paint the whole house or move to a new house if they knew that somebody of the stature of Dalai Lama would come. Because sometimes friends come home and we give them not a very good treatment, right? Because they're friends. It's like, okay, open. No, go open the door. You do it yourself. And we don't actually give them the treatment that we would give to somebody else. Where is the benevolence towards everyone? A homeless is coming to your home, and Divaldo Franco. Would you be as kind to the homeless as you are to Divaldo? We need to ask this question, friends, because the true concept of charity is benevolence towards everyone, meaning be of goodwill towards everyone, and that's Jesus. He treated Mary Magdalene, Peter, and even Paul and Judas the same. Nobody has ever heard like Jesus treated his mother in a different way. He treated his Peter, because he was with him all the time, better than John, better than Judas. Have you heard of this? No. And he is your personal trainer. He is every day telling us, go and do your best towards everyone you encounter. Because if I treat people more specially because of this, that, or the other, we're not being benevolent towards everyone, which is condition number one to be charitable. Second is be kind to the imperfections of others. Indulgent, meaning put some sweetness. Give them a break. Nobody's perfect. Come on, it's not the end of the world. And three, forgiveness of offenses. Why forgiveness of offenses of all things? Because it's impossible to be in any relationship without learning to be forgiving. No friendship can be strong if it doesn't, strong enough, if it doesn't go through the test of forgiveness. Because often we will not meet the expectations of our friends, and we'll be begging that they forgive us because we didn't do this, that, and the other on purpose. Right? Forgiveness into the world. That's charity. Rudy is saying, charity is the sister of compassion. Thank you, Rudy. Right? And Andre is saying, I can cook a great meal and a sweet meal. Okay, that's great when you're receiving friends. Saul is saying, we're all brothers and sisters. You're right. Rihanna is saying, I will prepare food. Love making food for all. You're right. Irrespective of who they are. Right? Yeah. Renounce. When we conscientiously divide our assets, we will be dignified, but we renounce for the benefit of others. This will elevate ourselves. Let it go, friends. That's where we need to let go. Let go of that need to be exalted, to be recognized, to be in any way and means, to be recognized by others, and to keep things feeling like those things define us. Spreading the values within his own soul, Jesus bequeathed to the world the treasures of understanding and peace. And finally, since we're in the temple of the good, in the temple of the good today, in addition to spreading the possibilities of how divine providence has blessed our lives, let us offer to help others, some of the time, with our own sweat, love, and our arms. And then he says, we will transform our lives into a poem of light and love. And if people ask you, why do you do this? You say, well, I don't ask the tree why the tree is a tree, why the flower blooms. We do what we have to do, and that's what I have to do. If people say, why are you doing this? Something good. Just because. You don't explain your destiny, your role in life. Your role is your role. You're a child of God. And the person who is asking you is also the child of God. Right? And all we have to do is to enter this temple of the good, do the good. We must seek the good, feel the good, visualize the good, and mold our lives to the good. Mold. Say, from now on, I'm going to devote my life to doing this. But people are not going to recognize you. It doesn't matter. God does. But people are going to abuse us. It doesn't matter. But God is going to replenish us. But people are going to slander us. It doesn't matter. The angels are going to be with us. And one day, everybody's going to be together. It's just a matter of time. We're not superior to anybody. But if you have to do the good, do the good. And enlighten your pathway with the light of God. And there, you feel great. When you come back, anytime, you have already built a garden of many flowers because you're sowing every day, non-stop. Right? Right. Yes, so you're right. That's why we need to learn and to serve and to do what we have to do. You see, look at the nature around us. The birds that fly, the flowers. Nature in itself talks about ourselves. We're just like them. We don't need to be an angel to be loved by God and to fulfill our roles. We are all important and all useful. We just need to do what we need to do. Seeking the good, feeling the good, visualizing the good, and molding our lives to the good. This is precisely what it is that Emmanuel is telling us. Build this kingdom of God among humanity. He's calling you and I to team up. So don't diminish yourself and say, but who am I? We're telling you, you are a child of God. By the way, an adorable one. So, be it. Be an adorable spirit and love the world. That's it. And by the way, Emmanuel is an educator. He tied it up into the next chapter we're going to study tomorrow, the talent of all. And he talks about you need to do the good because you are given talents and you better multiply them. Okay? So here we are, child of God, adorable spirit. You are a child of God. I am a child of God. We reincarnated to learn to do good, and we better do it. Right? Reincarnation, the path of progress. Reincarnation, the opportunity for today to achieve true happiness. Thank you, Fernando. Yes, we're spiritists and we have responsibility. And you adorable children of God, a big kiss, a great hug, and let us spread the news, exalt the news, highlight the news, but honor the good news by being coherent, worshiping God by honoring the good. Until tomorrow, God willing.